what are the medical advices you can give to actually curb one's excesses towards becoming, towards the tendency of becoming a rapist, and also how can one overcome all this traumatic? I think the medical term is post-traumatic stress PTSD disorder. What are the medical advices for the victim to, overcome the effects of rape?
Thank you very much. I think the first thing, let me start from the rapist. It's important for us to know that a rapist is ill, okay? And in both aspects, whether the rapist or the victim, both need evaluation. Now, there's what we call in psychiatric terms or mental terms, insight. What does insight mean? Insight means, in simple terms, that does the person know he's ill? Does the person agree with the features of the illness? Does the person agree that the features of the illness culminate into that illness? And is the person agreeing that he has that illness? Is the person also agreeing to take medications for that illness? So it's important to know that most people with mental disorders don't have insight. And the simple way to explain that is that it's the brain that lets you know that your legs are paining you if you have an injury. Now, when the brain is sick itself, there's nobody to tell the brain that he's sick. So the person, although will be able to do the normal functioning, which is think, feel, and behave, okay? You'll be able to run those programs, but who is running that program in that context is a sick brain, okay? So the person does not see what he's doing as being wrong because the brain is not functioning properly. So for my advice is to the society, because the person does not know that what he's doing is actually wrong, okay? The person needs a psychiatric or mental health evaluation. But not all people who commit rape are sick.
Okay, good, because I was about to ask you that.
Some people who commit rape are sick. Now, those who commit crime in that sense, in the context of them not being sick, will have to face the criminal justice system. And I believe the constitution of the country is adequate enough to capture and then treat appropriately. So most often than not, rape is a crime. So the criminal justice system will take its course, and those who have mental health issues will be treated appropriately. So that would be my own advice on it. The society has its role to play, and the society is important in terms of the fact that, like I said, the factors are physical, psychological, and then social factors. It's important to know that some people have genetic predisposition to do these things. And because they have those genetic predisposition does not mean they will do it, but it just means they have higher risk factors than others. And it's important that this be looked in this context and then they'll be monitored and then treated appropriately. So the other aspect is then the psychological rubric, which has to do with the psychological traits, the personality traits, and the motivation of that person. So a person who has, who is still, if you follow the Maslow hierarchy, is still in the psychological phase, which has to do with food, shelter, sex, and all these things, which are written in the physiological position. It's important that if the person's drive is more physiological, then he's more likely to commit rape if he is not able to meet up with the societal demands for him to have a partner. So because of that, there are some psychological contributions that will be needed, and it's important for us to also know that, and we need to look at that. Then there are some social factors that needs to be done. So what's the social position or the cultural position? What's the political position in these aspects? What are the environmental issues that need to be worked on? So some people have been abused. They come from abusive home. They are more likely, to abuse others. Those who are abused are more likely to be abused. So we need to look at these factors and then look at them appropriately. Be that as it may, there are other things that could be done for them. But what is most important is that anybody who rapes needs a psychological evaluation, and then the necessary steps should be taken for.
Good.
So if they can then be categorized to those who have mental illness and then rape, and those who don't have and then rape. And then the criminal justice system can be informed appropriately.